Hi, Charles SirBookSage here, and this is my January and February book haul part 2 ebooks. The last book haul I did was in January, and that was all physical books. I'll link a copy to that up here if you haven't seen that. And this one is all of the ebooks I've been buying over the past kind of month or two. And most of these I've gotten really lucky. I've caught them on special one-day sales where they were either $2.99 or $1.99. So, and there's a few. So let's just dive right into them here. The first up is Chaos and Order, The Gap into Madness, which is the Gap Cycle Book 4 by Stephen R. Donaldson. This is another one of those series that I used to own in mass market paperback that was in this box that I inadvertently donated to the library book sale. So yeah, I'll be slowly repurchasing this. I figured it might as well, it was on sale in ebook, so I figured why not grab it. And I'll get around to getting the rest of the series so I can actually read these someday. Next up is Lilith's Brood, Xenogenesis. It's a trilogy by Octavia E. Butler. It's Dawn, Adulthood Rights, and Imago, if I'm pronouncing that right. This one I was hoping to get to in my January trilogy month. Didn't get anywhere near it. But I'm really, really excited to get around to reading this one. This was probably read at some point this year. Next up is The Hidden Face, The Fifth Unmasking Book 1 by S.C. Flynn. Never read anything by S.C. Flynn. I just saw one of my booktubers I follow, James. He tweeted out that this was on sale a particular day, so I grabbed it. Next up, The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. Yet another book I used to own that was in that box I gave away. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I've only read A Darker Shade of Magic by her so far, but absolutely loved that book. I've actually got a book review of it. I'll link up here. And I picked up Vicious because it's another one people seem to enjoy, and it was on sale that particular day, so I grabbed it. Next was Fable Haven by Brandon Mull. Now, this I ended up picking up specifically from a Sylvia K. Recommendation in one of her videos she did in the tail end of 2017. And I just read this month of February as a buddy read with The Bookish Porcupine. And really, really enjoyed it. Next up is a book I picked up by someone on AuthorTube. And this is Riser by Becca C. Smith. She actually has a really cool AuthorTube channel. So if you like listening to authors talk about their creative process and writing in general, she's got a really, really good channel. Next up is Uprooted by Naomi Novik, which, between thoughts on tomes and so many other people raving about this book, I grabbed it when it was also on sale one particular day. And I'm already one chapter in and hooked immediately. I was hooked in the first paragraph. So far so good. Again, it's just one chapter, but still got a long way to go. But I really, really enjoy the storytelling and writing style so far. This is the first thing I'm reading by Naomi Novik. Another ebook I was super happy to catch the one-day sale of is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. When I first joined BookTube in September last year, this was a really popular book, right, making the BookTube circles. And just the general premise of it really intrigued me, so I was happy to snag the ebook. I actually have had this physical book in my hand a few times in some visits to Barnes & Noble, and I just got lucky and caught the ebook sale and picked it up. Next up is Babel 17 by Samuel R. Delany. Now, Samuel R. Delany is one of my favorite sci-fi, science fantasy authors of all time. I've mentioned him in quite a few of my videos, but I've never read Babel 17. This was his fourth novel, and it's the one that really put him on the map. It was his first big award-winning novel. I think it may have won the Nebula Award. And I've never actually read it. And I'm about to start reading this as a buddy read with N. Jerry from Onyx Pages, who has a great, great channel, by the way. So I'm really looking forward to that read. And next up is Skinfolk Stories by Nayla Hopkinson. This came recommended from the author herself in an interview N. Jerry from Onyx Pages did with her. and I'm 3 or 4 short stories into this and really, really enjoying it. I really like her storytelling and writing style. It's really interesting. Next up is one of my favorite authors, Fever Dream by George R.R. Martin. Again, picked it up on a sale. A friend of mine at work was actually talking about this. He's a big, huge Song of Ice and Fire fan. And he recently read this and really enjoyed it. I think it's got some sort of spin on vampires or something. That's about all I know about it. But I caught that on a sale too and said, why not? Why not branch out into, while I'm waiting for the next A Song of Ice and Fire book, branch out into some other writing of George R.R. Martin. And next is Face Buddha, Transcendence in the Age of Social Networks by Ravi Chandra. This is another one recommended actually by Sylvia Kay. She was tweeting about this on her Twitter account last month, I guess. And I was intrigued by it, so I went and looked it up, and it was pretty cheap on Kindle, so I grabbed it. This will be a nice change of pace read for when I need something to kind of just mix up. I can step back from like big fantasy sci-fi stuff. And then the last few here are The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. This is another series that I've been kind of eyeballing in the stores. And they just had this book 1 of this series on like $2.99 sale on ebook again, just a couple of days ago, not that long. So I grabbed it. And Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey, they also had on that same sale, that same day. Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie, also the same day. They had all 3 of these on sale, I think for like $2.99. And then the last one that I picked up is the 3rd book of the Binti trilogy, Binti, The Night Masquerade by Nnedi Okorafor. And I own the first 2 in ebook already anyway, so I figured I'd get the ebook to complete the collection. I have a feeling I'll probably get physical copies of these Binti books at some point. Nnedi Okorafor is an author that I enjoy so much, I want to actually collect physical copies of her books. And she's got really cool covers too, so, why not have them there on your shelf to show off and enjoy. And that's my quick ebook haul. These have just been collected here and there as we go. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments. No spoilers, obviously, but let me know if you liked them, didn't like them. If there are any of these books here that you haven't read yet that you're thinking about reading or maybe you already have on your shelf, just let me know what you think here. So I'm going to wrap this up, and I will see you on Friday for my Friday reads. And I am Charles, SirBookSage. Happy reading.